Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today, we've got a critical update on the escalating tensions between the United States and Iran. We'll be diving into recent developments, analyzing the situation, and exploring the potential impact on the global stage. Stay tuned as we break down the complexities of this geopolitical chess game. First on our radar is the apparent nervousness within the Iranian leadership. According to multiple sources, the recent drone attack in Jordan, attributed to the Iran-backed group Islamic Resistance in Iraq, has caught Tehran by surprise. This incident, which resulted in the death of 3 American soldiers, seems to have raised concerns among Iranian officials. Moving on, we've witnessed a significant increase in proxy attacks by Iran-backed militants in Iraq, Syria, and Yemen. Over 160 attacks on U.S. forces have occurred since October, with the recent strike in Jordan being the first to claim American lives. This marks a critical escalation in the conflict, heightening the risk of direct confrontation between the U.S. and Iran. Now, let's talk economics. U.S. intelligence suggests that Iran is not only worried about its proxy group's actions, but is also concerned about the economic fallout. Attacks by Houthi militants in Yemen on commercial shipping in the Red Sea have the potential to disrupt the global economy, affecting key Iranian allies such as China and India. The big question on everyone's mind is how the Biden administration plans to respond to these provocations. Options are being weighed, and there's speculation about potential strikes on Iranian assets in the region. However, striking inside Iran itself is considered highly unlikely, as the U.S. aims to avoid a direct war with Iran, according to White House statements. A recent development worth noting is the announcement by the Iraq-based proxy militia Kataib Hezbollah, stating the suspension of all attacks on U.S. forces. This move could be an attempt to de-escalate tensions, but skepticism remains about whether Iran will substantially change its tactics. Insights from experts suggest that Iran is pursuing a calibrated approach, aiming to avoid an all-out war. The recent attack in Jordan may have caused Tehran to reevaluate its strategy, with suggestions that Iran is navigating a fine line between asserting power and preventing a forceful response from the U.S. or Israel. Shifting focus to the Red Sea, there are indications that Iranian leaders are worried about the indiscriminate attacks on shipping by Houthi militants. These attacks have caused global economic damage, with India being particularly impacted. The diversion of maritime trade routes is raising concerns and may be causing blowback on Iran. Understanding the dynamics of Iranian proxy groups is crucial. There are varying degrees of control that Iran exercises over its proxies, with indications that some groups have their own parochial interests. This complicates the situation and adds a layer of unpredictability to Iran's overall strategy. On the international stage, The U.S. is applying pressure on Iran through various channels, including the United Nations Security Council. Additionally, there are efforts to involve China in easing tensions. The U.S. has urged China to use its influence with Iran to stop the attacks, highlighting the global impact of the conflict. As tensions continue to simmer, the future remains uncertain. The U.S. intelligence community is intensifying efforts to understand the capabilities of Houthi militants, providing a clearer picture of the situation. The recent statement from Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps chief emphasizes Iran's readiness for any situation, indicating a delicate balance on the brink of escalation. Delving deeper into the economic impact, the attacks on Red Sea shipping have triggered concerns about the global economy. The indiscriminate nature of these attacks has led to a diversion of maritime trade routes, affecting countries like China and India. With China expressing its worries and calling for an end to attacks on civilian ships, the situation has broader implications for international trade and economic stability. The evolving dynamics between the U.S. and Iran highlight a delicate balance. The recent statement by Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps chief emphasizes Iran's reluctance for an all-out war but underscores its readiness for any scenario. This nuanced approach indicates a strategic calculation by Iran to maintain influence without escalating the conflict beyond a manageable threshold. Examining the loyalty of Iranian proxy militias brings forth a complex picture. While Iran has considerable influence over militias in Iraq and Syria, the situation differs with the Houthi militants in Yemen. Looking ahead, the future remains uncertain, with both the U.S. and Iran carefully navigating the thin line between assertiveness and avoiding an all-out war. The suspension of attacks by Kataib Hezbollah may be a temporary de-escalation, but the broader question of whether Iran will substantially alter its tactics lingers. The situation is fluid, and as the U.S. intelligence community intensifies efforts to assess Houthi capabilities, the potential for further escalations or diplomatic breakthroughs remains on the horizon. In conclusion, the geopolitical landscape between the U.S. and Iran is in a state of flux, with each move carrying significant consequences. The economic, political, and military dimensions intertwine, creating a complex web of challenges for both nations. As events unfold, we'll continue to provide updates, so make sure to stay tuned for the latest developments. Like, subscribe, and share your insights in the comments below. Until next time, this is iNewsU, keeping you informed on the world stage.